The Bride. This is a story from when I was 7 years old. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I always loved animated movies, especially Pixar, ever since I saw The Incredibles. Though I didn't have many chances to watch them because my family wasn't the richest. We could barely afford basic necessities, let alone movie tickets and tapes. One summer weekend, my father came home with a surprise. He found a cheap tape for a Pixar movie. He'd bought it at a garage sale on his way home from work, and he decided to pick it up using the little spare money from his paycheck. I got very excited, but then I noticed the tape itself. It was black with The Bride written on it. Strange name. I've never heard of a Pixar movie with that name. I shrugged it off as The Bride being some old Pixar movie and put it in the VHS. My mother was at work, and my father was busy with house chores, so I had to watch it all by myself. My father probably thought I wouldn't need supervision as it was only a Pixar movie. The beginning was normal enough. The Pixar opening with the lamp jumping on the eye, the movie title, and it began with a family happily enjoying themselves on the birthday of one of their 2 children. I don't remember the exact first half very well, but it was quite boring. Just a normal family going about their lives. I started getting bored, but knowing my father would get mad if I didn't even watch the movie he spent so much money on, I decided to keep watching. Nothing eventful happened. Until 40 minutes in, it was normal. Children of the family were out to school, that was, until I saw her. Is that a woman? Why is her smile so wide, and why is she staring at the family? Before I could process the woman, the mother of the family gets a call and picks it up. Her expression changes to that of concern and fear, and then she rushes out of the door looking as if she's barely holding back tears. The scene ends, and in the next one, it shows the family surrounding a hospital bed. The youngest child and mother are crying while the father looks as if he's holding back tears and trying to stay strong for his family. Then it shows the hospital bed, and it's the oldest son, or I think it was him. His entire face was scratched up. He was missing an arm and one of his eyes, and he looked unconscious. Then he moved. The family was surprised and relieved, but then he said in a voice barely above a whisper, "Is the woman gone?" Then the scene changes to a funeral. It looks like a funeral of the oldest child. It shows his family mourning him. Then I saw her again. She was sitting in one of the back seats. Her smile was much wider than should be possible for a human being. She was a little closer, so I could see her face a little. She had dark red eyes, extremely pale skin, and she looked to be wearing a white dress of some sort. 7-year-old me was terrified, but something compelled me to keep on watching, so I did. Next scene, it showed a few months later text, and it showed the family together again in their house. It looked like they'd mostly recovered from the death of their oldest child, but then the father took a phone call and left in a hurry. I think it was because of Sona work-related incident, so now the mother and youngest are left alone. That's when I see her once again. This time, only her face is visible, and she's standing in the hall while the mother and youngest are in the living room. Get an even better look at Harriet. Becomes clear she's wearing a bride's dress. Her smile was even wider this time. I noticed her teeth were dark black. However, I wasn't the only one that saw her. The mother also did. Then the scene changes once more. This time showing the father come back from work. Then he hears it, his wife's voice shouting at him to come upstairs. He does. He opens the door from where the voice is coming from, the master bedroom. It then shows his reaction. He turns pale with fear. However, I barely hear him say in a voice barely above a whisper, "Angela?" Then it cuts to the master bedroom Get's been staring at. It shows the entire room covered in blood with the woman standing in the center. This time all her features are clearly visible. She's wearing a wedding dress and her limbs look thin and malnourished. She finally speaks the first time. "Michael, there's no one between us now. You're mine again." Then the movie ends. However, instead of credits, it shows 2 news articles. The first one is of a bride named Angela, who ended her life after her boyfriend refused to marry her. The second news article is about a family, how the mother and youngest child were found killed and mutilated in their home while the husband went missing without a trace. I don't remember what I did to the tape after the movie ended. However, now I'm 22 and I've been researching on this movie, so I posted here to ask, do any of you remember The Bride?